You know that feeling when you check your bank account at the end of the month, look at your remaining balance, and think, where on earth did it all go? You didn't buy a flashy new watch. You didn't go on some crazy weekend getaway. You didn't walk into a luxury store and drop $1,000 on designer clothes. You paid your rent, you bought your groceries, and yet your cash completely evaporated. The truth is, your bank account isn't suffering from a single catastrophic wound. It's bleeding to death from 1,000 tiny paper cuts. Most financial gurus love to rant about the big things. They'll tell you that you're broke because your car payment is too high or because you bought a house you can't afford. And while that's definitely true for a lot of people, there is a much quieter, far more insidious trap keeping the middle class stuck on a financial hamster wheel. It's something I call subscription creep. It is the slow, invisible accumulation of recurring monthly charges that quietly drain your investing power every single day. If you're someone who wants to stop bleeding cash to silent corporate bills and actually understand how to build an unbreakable financial foundation, make sure to hit that subscribe button. My name is Brett, and on this channel, we break down the real numbers behind wealth building so you can take control of your future. Now, before we look at how to kill subscription creep, let me ask you a question. How many subscriptions do you think you have right now? If you're like the average person, you'll probably pause, count them up in your head, and guess somewhere around 4 or 5. You'll think of Netflix, Spotify, maybe your gym membership, and Amazon Prime. You'll estimate that you're spending maybe $50 to $70 a month. But here is where the reality check gets brutal. A massive study conducted by a prominent consumer data company revealed a shocking disconnect in human psychology. When researchers asked thousands of participants to estimate their monthly subscription spending, the average guess was around $80. But when they actually sat down, pulled their bank statements, and added up every single recurring digital charge, the real number was $237. That is a 300% gap between perception and reality. Think about why this happens. It is a highly intentional, multi-billion-dollar psychological trap engineered by some of the smartest software companies on the planet. A decade ago, software companies used to sell you a product once. You walked into a store, you bought a disc for $50, you owned it forever, and the company had to figure out how to build a better version next year to get you to spend money again. But corporations realized that selling you something once is a terrible business model. They realized it is infinitely more profitable to turn you into a recurring tenant. Now, you don't buy software, you rent digital air. You pay $10 a month every single month forever. To your brain, $10 sounds completely harmless. It's less than the price of a burrito. It registers as zero financial risk. You sign up for the free trial, you tell yourself you'll cancel it if you don't use it, and then your brain completely forgets it exists. The companies are literally banking on your amnesia. They design the sign-up process to take exactly one click, but they bury the cancellation button behind 5 layers of menus, phone calls, or artificial customer service loops. And while you're busy living your life, dealing with work and managing stress, that $10 charge quietly hits your debit card every 30 days. Now let's look at the real math, because this is where subscription creep shifts from a minor annoyance into total wealth destruction. Let's say you've fallen into the average trap and you are bleeding $240 a month across various apps, streaming platforms, storage tiers, and memberships you barely look at. Over the course of a single year, that's nearly $3,000 vanished into thin air. But the true tragedy isn't the $3,000 cash, it's the opportunity cost of what that money could have done for your financial freedom. If you took that exact same $240 a month and automatically routed it into a diversified index fund inside a tax-advantaged account, earning a standard 8% annual return, look at what happens to the timeline. In just 7 years, that burrito money compounds into over $27,000. In 15 years, it grows into nearly $85,000. And if you let that money ride over a standard 30-year career, that silent subscription creep turns into a staggering $350,000. Think about that trade-off. You are literally sacrificing a massive, life-changing $350,000 in retirement asset wealth just to have access to 3 different TV apps you haven't opened since last winter, a premium weather app, and an automated meal prep kit you keep forgetting to pause. You are actively trading your future freedom for digital clutter. This is why subscription creep leaves your finances building on quicksand. When you're living with a high baseline of fixed monthly bills, your brain operates in permanent survival mode. Every unexpected expense feels like an absolute emergency. But when you ruthlessly optimize your fixed cash flow, you free up the mental bandwidth to move from playing defense to playing offense. So how do you break the cycle? You have to execute a complete financial audit. Tonight, I want you to open your banking app or pull up your last 3 months of credit card statements. Do not trust your memory. Look at every single charge that pulls automatically. If you see a digital service you haven't actively derived joy or income from in the last 30 days, kill it immediately. If you're worried you might need it later, cancel it anyway. If you actually miss it, the company will happily let you sign back up in 2 seconds. Building real wealth isn't about depriving yourself of things that make your life genuinely better. It's about being ruthlessly intentional with your money instead of letting it slip through your fingers on things that don't matter to you. Stop funding corporate recurring revenues at the expense of your own retirement. Clean up your statements, automate your investing order, and let your money work for your future self instead of someone else's bottom line. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make tonight. Trust me, they'll thank you for it.